Paul Gosar, has come under scrutiny in the last 2 months for his alleged role in the Capitol riot. Now Gosar is taking heat again, this time for headlining a white supremacist group's annual convention over the weekend. Team 12 political insider Bram Resnick has more on what Gosar did and what we know about this group.
Congressman Gosar's support for extreme ideas isn't new, but experts on extremism say Gosar's presence at this event boosts this hate group's credibility.
This country wouldn't exist without white people. And white people are done being bullied.
That's Nick Fuentes, leader of the white supremacist America First movement, speaking this weekend.
A country without a border is not a country. A nation without a people is not a nation.
And that's Republican Congressman Paul Gosar of Arizona, keynote speaker this weekend at Fuentes' second annual America First gathering.
Hate doesn't change. Only the face of hate will change.
Former Mesa cop Matt Browning has covered far-right hate groups for years.
Nick Fuentes is just another person who's picking up where somebody else dropped off.
And by picking up a sitting congressman to headline his event, experts say Fuentes' brand of hate gets some credibility. Devin Burkhart is another expert on right-wing groups.
How big a deal is it for them to have a sitting congressman at an event?
It's a huge deal for them.
Gosar told one reporter he accepted the America First invitation to, quote, reach young conservatives. But Fuentes and his group were in the middle of the Capitol insurrection.
Doing just the slightest bit of due diligence would tell you who Nick Fuentes was and the kind of role that America First has played.
So if you're on the left, you're looking at something like this and you're thinking, wow, that's pretty messed up. You might be thinking maybe share it with some of your conservatives or right-leaning friends and have them be kind of like, you know, hey, look, remember the stuff I've been telling you about the racism and white supremacy and these hate groups? It's a real thing. If you're thinking that, you still don't get it. I will pretend to be a Republican voter or someone on the right, a conservative, and I will give you the response because it's fairly predictable. Downplay, deflect, whitewash. No amount of evidence to support whatever theory you have or position that you have will matter. It can all be explained away. So this one, if I'm a conservative and you show this to me, he probably just made a mistake. He probably didn't know what the event was about, right? He didn't actually say, he himself didn't say anything racist, right? It's called an American First. He's probably an idiot, and he just, come on. Older guy, they probably tricked him. Never mind his track record and what he's done and said in the past, right? In this moment, this can all be explained away just like everything else. Right. By the way, did you know that Herman Cain's family continued to use his Twitter account even after he died to downplay COVID-19? I mean, you can read some of these tweets right here. Pretty insane. Anyway, so Gosar skipped the Friday House votes, including the vote on the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package, spoke Friday night at the America First Political Action Conference, AFPAC, where he blamed former President Donald Trump election loss on big business, big tech, and the swamp, and pushed anti-immigration arguments to the crowd of groypers, a loose coalition of mostly young alt-right extremists led by organizer Nick Fuentes. Keep in mind that while this hate group organized their own little CPAC itself invited an anti-Semite to their event. He had the right complexion, I'm thinking. So, brown-skinned guy, minorities, we're not racist. Right. So the only guy they could find, there's somebody else too, but they ran out of quality brown-skinned people to go to their event, that they ended up picking up someone who had some really, really, you think that Disney, what was it, Mandalorian actor, you think what she said was bad? Man, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. This guy said the real stuff, and it's not any interpretation or was joking around. No, anti-Semitic 100%. And that's the guy who they wanted to have at their event. But because they actually embrace cancel culture, right? They talk about it all the time, but they don't care about cancel culture. They canceled him. They canceled the guy. They wanted to have him speak at their event, but because he said anti-Semitic things, they canceled him. Like, these are the same people who have a problem with people doing the exact same thing. You tweeted something online and somebody gets offended by it and blah, blah, blah. What does that have to do with your job? You're hired to do a job, right? Are you qualified for the job? Then fine. Why are you worrying about, oh, you tweeted this thing 2 years ago? That's exactly what they did. He tweeted some anti-Semitic stuff and they were like, we can't have this guy speaking at our conference. Somebody said that anyway. I would be curious to know who actually had a problem with it and actually put their foot down to cancel this individual. But so they got the anti-Semitic guy booked to speak at the actual CPAC. They cancel him. Then there's a white supremacy CPAC, sort of, where we have a congressman speaking. Okay. It's just a fringe group, by the way, guys. It's a fringe group, right? There's enough money for you to organize some conference and get a congressman to speak at your fringe group event. Right. Oh, also, if it's a fringe group, then how can this guy be doing this stuff and no rebuke from the Republicans? No rebuke from the voters? It seems like I've never seen one outrage from Republican voters about QAnon. We got to get these people out of our party, and we don't support this, and get them out. If you're QAnon, you can't be working in our government. I don't see that. Gosar goes to a white supremacist event. He needs to resign. Get him out of there. Censure him. This is not right. We don't stand for white supremacy. This is unacceptable. These Republicans, they need to censor this guy. No. We got to censor the people who dared to vote to convict Donald Trump. That's a problem. This guy speaking at a white supremacist meeting, no problem. He probably made a mistake, made a wrong turn. Right. Again, it's not the first time this guy's done stuff like this. He's got a track record, and there's no outcry. So please spare me the lies about, oh, you condemn this and you condemn that. You guys condemn racism and white supremacy as much as Biden condemns Antifa, right? I'm really sick of this fake condemning nonsense. Trump condemning, what do you want me to say? Oh, okay, Proud Boys, stand by, stand back. Biden, violence must stop, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing about it? Nothing. Right? Conservatives, we don't stand for the Capitol attack. People go to CPAC. Yes, and people, they were frustrated, and this, these Americans, they knew that they got disenfranchised. Right? We got YouTube commentators actually supporting the attack on the Capitol. We got, Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, Blaze TV refused to cover anything, refused to call out the police officers who got arrested. These police officers who were at the attack, put the names out, officer blah, 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 got arrested yesterday. He was at the Capitol attack. He's a disgrace. They need to fire him. No. They're talking about Mr. Potato Head. They're talking about people who dared to have a difference of opinion and voted for Trump to be removed. Right? Meanwhile, the outrage for Gosar? No big deal. Outrage about QAnon? No big deal. QAnon members in the government? Outrage? I want to talk about Mr. Potato Head. Okay. Other speakers included Steve King, who's known for his long history of racist comments, and conservative commentator Michelle Malkin. So he goes directly from this event to the actual CPAC. Oh, I like this. At the start of the panel, Gosar, unprompted and without mentioning Friday's event or Fuentes by name, attempted to distance himself from racism. See, I told you, he's not racist. Come on, guys. This is what we're experiencing in this country is a complete disconnect from reality. You can have all of the evidence that tells you a certain thing is true, and none of it means anything, right? You have a coworker who everyone says is stealing stuff, but unless that person actually admits to stealing stuff, doesn't matter. Things only go missing when that person works. It's probably just a coincidence. The person is known to have a criminal history, and a big part of that was shoplifting. People change. That was back then. What? You never did anything wrong? Multiple times this worker is seen grabbing a bunch of pens right around the time that they normally would be leaving the office. And people point out to them, hey, what do you do with those pens? And then they'll say, well, a mistake. I only meant to take one. People make mistakes. Man. Every day that you receive scheduled shipments of new office supplies, this guy who's habitually late usually comes in before everybody else. Who's to tell? I don't know his life. I don't know. Maybe he's got kids. Man, oh man. There's no amount of evidence that matters anymore. Keep accusing someone of being racist, and then they keep doing things that a racist person would do, right? But, I can't read their mind. I don't know why they did it. Just because they did similar things that a racist person would do doesn't mean they're also racist, right? Look, they're reading a book that's popular that racist people read. You're gonna call him racist because he's reading a book? Come on. Look, in his Zoom conference, there was a Ku Klux Klan in the background. Oh, it's a Ku Klux Klan. You can barely see it. It's probably mountains. Oh man. His mother says he's racist. Come on. You've never heard of family? Like, family can do some really mean things. Who knows the dynamics between their family? Maybe his mother hates him or he hates his mother, and we don't know their relationship.
Gosar, they went on national television to publicly blast their brother. They think his tweets, his outspoken bursts contesting presidential election results, and belief in conspiracy theories has led him down a path of extremism over the last decade. Now they're taking a stand and calling for drastic measures with hopes it'll avoid another deadly riot.
He peddles in rumor, he peddles in propaganda, and he lies consistently to the American people and to his constituents.
The point in time to reach my brother, I think that's been passed. I mean, I know that, at this point, the most that we can do is as citizens, as constituents, as the public, demand that the members of Congress involved be held accountable. And that includes exposure.
You know what I mean? And then people are out there calling him racist, and she's probably just jumping on the bandwagon because she hates him or whatever the situation is. And you don't know. You're thinking you can't assume. You can't assume. You don't know what the person's thinking. I feel like I'm a conservative commentator. A leading member of Oath Keepers chapter in Arizona, Jim Arroyo, posted a video on YouTube claiming Gosar attended one of their meetings and supported the group's calls for a war in this country. This is a perfect example. So, here we have this guy accidentally speaking at a white supremacy event, right? The same guy was previously accused of attending by one of the members of the group, previously accused of attending an Oath Keeper meeting and talking about calling for war in this country. But I'm sure that's, this guy probably made it up. It's just a coincidence, right? You could, as many times you could keep running into stuff, and there's always an answer. Eventually, it's like, he's probably just trolling you guys because he knows how you got, the left, they're obsessed with racism, and he's probably doing it on purpose.
Horrible to have to do this. To speak up against my brother, it brings sadness to me.
This isn't just about Paul. This is about their family.
I think my brother has traded a lot of the values we had at our kitchen table.
I couldn't be quiet any longer, nor should any of us be.
This is not who we are.
It's intervention time. And intervention time means that you go to vote, and you go to vote Paul out.
Paul Gosar is my brother.
My brother.
My brother. And I endorse Dr. Brill.
So this is the Debate Me channel. Debate Me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.